Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would love to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. Blessings and safety to the Lord's elect. All right. And hey, man, I just had a short a vision, all right, of the heavenly vehicles of war, man, which are written in the scriptures, okay? Which Esau, he has you people believing that they are UFOs, man, unidentified flying objects, okay? And that, little big head green monsters are operating them, man. All right. Now, I can't remember too much of this dream, man, or vision. I can't remember too much of it because I had a few dreams. All right, I had a few dreams, last night, man. Well, this dream, I actually just woke up from it. Okay, but man, I was driving the car, and as I came down the street, you know how we always see the little chariots in the air, but they appear real small, and we could just see them moving through the sky. That's how it, was looking at first. They was real small. You could just see it moving through the sky. All right, but they were in one area, all right, of the sky, and I seen one like small object, and then there was just objects appearing from it, appearing from it, appearing from it, appearing from it. And next minute, man, I would just say hundreds, all right, but it could have been thousands, man, of chariots, filled the sky. And, basically, it was like the Lord was giving me an air show, man. Okay. Now, these chariots, man, began to get a little low. Okay. And they were moving so fast, man. I can't explain how fast that they were moving. They was moving so fast, man. And they were kind of low. Okay. And they were moving so fast, man. And when they went past, all you hear was whoa. Now, Esau have what you call an air show, okay? And those jets are called Blue Angels. And you can hear them, fly past, okay? Woo, when they low, they flying. Woo. But the sound you heard from the chariots and how fast those chariots were moving, it's unmatchable, man. It's unmatchable. There's no comparison. You can't compare any object in the sky to the fastness or the sound that you heard when those chariots was moving, man. And there were so many in the sky, man. They were flying all type of directions, and I just couldn't keep up with it. I just couldn't keep up. It was just so many, and it was like one would do something, and you would try to lock in on it, but it was moving so fast, and another one would come. Esau's gonna have a hard time defending himself from the heavenly vehicles of war, man. All right. Now, this picture that you see, I met this, what I perceived to be an Edomite some years ago. All right. And she told me she painted pictures. All right. And, I described this picture to her. I said, a dark-skinned man, riding on a UFO, with the military at the bottom, you know, and she added the rest to it, you know. Well, this is a depiction of Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, man, coming back with the angels of heaven, man. Okay? Matter of fact, let me open up with a quick precept, you know. But hey, man, I'm telling you, man, if like I said, I want to say thousands, okay, because it was a lot, all right, but those vehicles were moving so fast, man, and the sound, like I said, I know you brothers probably before coming into this truth, or no, not even while in this truth, because when Esau is throwing the air show, we can actually hear the jets. Listen, when a chariot went past, the sound that it let up, the sound of it just flying past, it's unmatchable, man. I'm talking about, whoa, man, you know? Let me just get some precepts. All right, don't want to talk too much. It was a short dream. I can't really remember too much of it. So I'll just bring out a few precepts. This is Revelations 1:7. All right. And it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also was pierced him. And all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. All right. It said, behold, he cometh with clouds, man. Now, if you could see those clouds and you got the purple things around it, those are the so-called UFOs, man. That is going to return with Yahweh Shah. Okay? And just to back up that those clouds represents the Lord's heavenly vehicles of war. All right, we can go to the book of Psalms. Like I said, it's going to be a quick video. Lord willing, is edifying. This is Psalms 104:3. It says, "Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariot? Who walketh upon the wings of the wind? Who maketh his clouds his chariots, man?" These are the heavenly vehicles of war, all right, that Yahweh Shah is going to return with, and Esau and the rest of these nations are going to fight against them, okay? And they show you that on the movie Independence Day, all right? But hey, man, matter of fact, let's go to 2nd Ezra 13, man. All right. But like I said, it was a quick dream, man, but it was so mighty, man, because, I looked up and, at first I seen about 3 of them, but then like, I'm talking about, like I said, hundreds or thousands, man. It was so many chariots moving, and hey, it could have been those same 4, but they was moving so fast that it looked like thousands, man. I'm just saying that's how quick they were moving, but it was hundreds of thousands of them in the sky, man. And the sound that you heard when they passed you, the sound was so loud, man, that like, just from the sound of them, man, I hurt you. From the sound of them made, fucking destroy your eardrums, man. That's how loud they were, man. All right. Thawadi Abba Shimi Al Shah, man. I don't have many dreams. I had a few, but I don't have many, man. So let me get this precept out so I can close out, man. This is 2nd Ezra 13:3. And it says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, man. All right. And this is talking about Yahweh Shah coming back with the heavenly force, man. All right. And I'm gonna jump down to verse 5. And it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. All right, which that sea is talking about the air, the actual from the heavens, man, the air, the sky. Okay, and those men that were gathered together, that multitude was talking about, the militaries, man, of the earth. Okay, the militaries of the world, man. And it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. And that great mountain is talking about a chariot, man. It says, but I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. So Ezra, he couldn't see where the chariot began and where it ended. That's how big it was, man. You know, that same chariot that NASA, picked up on, man. All right. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid and yet durst fright. All right. And that's the military, as you can see on this picture, man. All right. But they're going to be in the air as well, man. Okay. They're going to be in the air as well. All right. And it's going to be a war in heaven. All right. That the scriptures talk about, man. Revelations. That war in heaven that you Christians said already took place. All right. Which is a future prophecy, man, to happen in the near future. All right. But hey, man, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'm going to end giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.